Alright, well, welcome back to Conker's Bad Fur Day, I guess, and hopefully, the final part. So, I guess I should ask a relevant question. Zach, Alec, would you take the red pill or the blue pill? Because I think the developers of this game took the black pill, judging by the writing.
Damn it, I was gonna bring up the black pill. I was like, this game makes me want to take the black pill, am I right? You're Jimmy.
Yep. Alright,
Yeah,
well, now we're actually gonna do a parody of a movie all of us have actually seen, so this should be an interesting change of things. It's been many years since I've seen The Matrix, but it's a good movie. So hopefully this will be at least something fun, but I mean, most of it hasn't been fun.
Look, I decided to try the shooter segment just to get a bit more context. Those shooting controls are the worst controls I have ever had the displeasure of using.
Yep.
I hate it. Like, that segment was already terrible just looking at it, but actually playing it, I hated it.
I am really curious how much better this game is when they remapped all the controls in Live and Reloaded.
I watched some footage, and those segments looked so much more bearable. They actually looked decently fun when I was watching the Live and Reloaded footage.
Well, according to the audio commentary by the developers of the game that I watched, they think, well, maybe not all the developers, but certainly the project lead of Conker said that Live and Reloaded pussified the game, so clearly this is the superior version, guys.
That's actually a bullshit statement, considering that Live and Reloaded was supposed to be called, oh fuck, I looked this up, I can't remember the name of it. Future Zach will put it in. But basically, this the Xbox version was going to be uncensored. They were going to remove all the bleeps.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But retail stores said they would not carry this game if it wasn't censored, so they needed to censor more of it to please them.
It makes you wonder if this game was, like, if that was, like, released, like, more, like, now, like, if it would be more uncensored or not.
Oh, no, I'm sure nowadays you could release this completely uncensored.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we've had... I'm pretty sure it should just be Z to shoot, right?
Yeah, I tried hitting Z and I didn't get anything. Let me try some other ones
yeah,
here.
and also, of course, we're doing cool-ass Matrix stuff here.
Yep.
The slow-mo and all the bullet effects.
There we go. I mean, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, I figured we could get through this with save states.
Oh, yeah, and we found out that if you hit A, I think it was, you could reload.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I now know that, so I won't be making the same mistakes I did during the military part. But even then, you think if the game is forcing you to reload, give me an ammo counter.
It does just remind me that, like, remember the beginning they teach you how to use the slingshot, and then they just don't teach you anything ever again.
Yeah.
Like, ever since Brandon told me that the developers call Live and Reloaded the pussified version, just makes me go, oh really? Better design is pussified?
Yeah.
Live and Reloaded looks a lot better.
But Zach, they add new tutorial cutscenes that explain more of the game mechanics. That makes it a worse game because it's hand-holding you.
Oh no. Oh no. It's so bad to do that. Teach your players how to do shit in your fucking video game.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? All this right now, I'm okay with this. This is actually kind of fun.
Are you okay with it enough to do this 5 times?
Yeah.
5? I thought this game's whole deal was 3!
Nope, this one's 5. Although, honestly, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
Compared to what we were just doing, I'll take this.
The aiming reticle kind of sucks. But,
yeah, but...
Aiming it sucks, but I can get through this because I have cover.
Yeah. I think, from what I heard, the best time to jump is when Barry's out. Because this is Conker's Bad Fur Day, so the enemies will shoot Barry over you because of how this game views women.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Like I said, black pill. Come on.
Oh, your bullets disappear after short distance.
A certain range.
Yeah.
Ow. Oh, come on.
Oh, 2 chocolate bars, yeah. Damn, ball. I do like that detail of, like, when they shoot at the pillars, they actually do get destroyed a little bit. Like chunks of, like, the thing will break off.
There's a lot. I mean, that's just the insane thing about this damn game, right? Is that so much effort is put into every segment. It's just... More effort should have been put into the actual game design and mechanics.
Right.
And these cutscenes are pretty cool. Like, that is honestly, like, a really good backflip and all that. I just wish this was for a better game with an actual better plot. Like,
right.
Yeah.
I've been reading comments on, like, an old playthrough of... Because I wanted to understand what people like about this game, and people are just like, oh, the way they go from world to world, like, never feels jarring. And I'm like, bull fucking shit. None of it ever connects. Like, okay, there is at least some connection, a little, because Conker meets up with the Weasel, and the Weasel sends him on this bank heist, and of course, if you're gonna have a bank heist, it has to be a Matrix reference.
Right. Oh, wow, that was really fair.
Is there any chocolate bars there at all?
No,
I don't think so.
You gotta do
no.
all this all on 6 hits.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Honestly, you probably should have made a save state to save
I
time.
probably should have.
Mhm.
I started having fun for a second, so I forgot to save state. Then I had the rude awakening that this is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yep.
Well, this doesn't look like too bad, but yeah. Then again, everything looks better after the Saving Private Ryan, which I was on Netflix, and I did partly plan on watching that because I wanted to see how much Conker stole, parodied. Can we just say, like, Conker does not parody anything, it's just flagrantly ripping off?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just doing the thing and that's it.
It's just repeating the scenes. Like, it's not like it's really saying anything about it.
Yeah, it's
Right,
just...
yeah.
It reminds me a lot of, like, the Scary Movie and Epic movies, where they're just telling the same exact story, except it's more dumb, and that's it.
Yeah, like, I actually finally saw Scream, but I had seen Scary Movie 1 first. I knew Scary Movie 1 was a parody of Scream, but when I was watching Scream, I was like, oh, I didn't realize how much it's not exactly one-to-one Scream, of course, but, like, I only guessed the twist to Scream because I saw Scary Movie, and I'm like, oh, Scary Movie is just Scream, but with dumb things thrown in.
Right.
And, like, I guess Airplane started that, but Airplane was actually good.
It's legitimately funny.
I think Scary Movie has, like, I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen it in years, but I thought that had, like, some legitimately good jokes. But maybe that's just nostalgia talking.
It's been a long time since I've seen any of those. I did definitely see Scary Movie back when Netflix rented discs, but I don't remember too much about it. I honestly remember more of Scary Movie 2. The one in the mansion.
Yeah, that's the one I remember too.
And which relevantly had the girls in it doing Matrix moves.
Yeah.
Because Matrix came out, so every movie in that era of the early 2000s just parodied the Matrix and did the same joke.
Yeah, it's always the kick.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just the easiest part to copy.
Either that or this moment right here.
Oh, yeah, the bending backwards.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget the save state.
Yep, I'm gonna do that quick.
Although I will say Scary Movie did add one unique twist, and I actually thought it was a really good one. Where I think I can't remember their names in Scream, but the two killers who end up being Ghostface, it turns out they were just copying the original Ghostface, and the original Ghostface is actually the deputy in Scary Movie, and I thought that was going to be something Scream did too, because I don't know, there was something always about the deputy in Scream that made me think he would actually end up being the real Ghostface.
Right.
I know that's just something Scary Movie did, and I thought that was a clever twist.
Well,
although, of course, in Scary Movie, the deputy is not very PC, let's say.
yeah. It was just that era, you know.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So just wait a second.
Reason.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they were doing a little bit of it earlier in the game, but now they're really showing off that they can do motion blur on the N64.
I also really like the reflections on here.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
it all looks great.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
See, I mean, the thing that's irritating about the reticle is that when you're pushing back to aim at something, if you let go of the stick, it automatically goes back to the center.
Yes, that happened in the shooter segment
what?
too.
Oh, no, wait.
Oh.
Really? What?
Oh, and get fucked. Yep. Yeah, get.
I like how Conker's head is half gone, but he was still able to go through a whole death animation.
Yep.
You know, we tried to call this part fun. We tried to say this, like, looked better, but then Brian just gets shot, and then shot on the ground because he has no invincibility frames, and now it's just like, we can't compliment it because it has to ruin it.
Oh, I thought they were going to show up now.
And then right after you finish the flip, there's going to be a cutscene.
Yep.
And cutscene.
Nope.
Or not. Oh, okay, there was more.
What? I don't get this game.
I don't get it either.
I don't get people's passion for this game. Although, to be fair, I have stated multiple times, I would like to see... Oh, yeah, okay, it can be destroyed, because holy crap, that...
Oh. One of my favorite comments I saw for, like... There's someone's gonna do a review of this game soon, and one of the comments said something about how this game was overlooked. I'm like, what do you mean overlooked?
Yeah,
This game is, like, fucking loved to death by, like, everyone.
I've only seen 3 other people who have ever shit on this game.
Yeah.
I think I saw the same post on YouTube you did, Alec, because all the comments I remember people talking about, oh man, oh I love this game, oh it's so funny. And it's just like, did you play it back then and that's why you think it's funny, or...
No, there was some comments that said they replay this game every year, and they still say it holds up. I'm just like, really?
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 Yeah.
I'm just, man, I don't know, like...
Is it just because we didn't grow up in the Rare era? Are we missing something?
I don't know. I mean, like, I guess, like, for its time, I could see this game, of course, being, like, just standing out there and being amazing, but, like, nowadays, just... It's so fucking outdated.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, humor, gameplay, design...
Yeah, I tried to look into the other games that the project lead, the guy that basically wrote and voiced Conker, made after Conker. And some of those games looked cool, but a lot of them were delisted. So I wasn't able to get a copy, or some of them were only on iOS, and I have an Android phone.
Oh, yeah.
But he made a game that was released on Steam that honestly looked pretty cool, but I wasn't able to get a hold of it because it was delisted on Steam. But it was like this interesting game with a hand-drawn style about a robot dog. That actually, but it didn't look like the usual sense of humor you expect from that guy because of Conker. It looked like something, you know, a lot more mature in the way you want something to be mature.
Yeah.
Not Conker's version of mature. I'd be happy to play his future games just to see what else he made after Conker, because clearly he has a lot of ambition. I'm gonna guess that didn't happen in The Matrix. Okay.
No, but they did have to put that jump kick in.
Yep.
Alright, what next? Yeah, that's a scene from The Matrix.
I gotta rewatch The Matrix. Like, I want to rewatch the entire trilogy. I'm not watching 4, though. Fuck 4. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I hear, yeah. I mean, I hear polarizing things about Resurrection, but mostly people going, eh.
Right, yeah, that's what I hear, too.
I mean, like, I know 3's not very well liked, but I could watch 3. I probably won't like it as much now. Oh, man. What was the second one called? Revolution? I loved Revolution as a kid, but if I were to go back and watch it now, I would be like, man, this movie is dumb, but I love its action scenes. But to be fair, I'm probably mostly only going to watch Matrix for the action scenes anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I've only seen Matrix 1, but I want to get around to seeing Reloaded and Revolution someday.
Reloaded, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Materialist. But you can talk. Anyway.
Oh.
Come here, my little beauties.
It's a collectathon platformer's dream.
Oh,
You have to hit them.
Oh, of course you do.
You have to hit every single one of them.
Wait, really?
Every single one.
Oh no. Okay.
I was afraid they were going to play the cutscene every single time.
Somebody call for us.
Oh god, imagine if it did do that, like, little cutscene with, like, Conker talking about money every single time, and, like, the
Okay, no,
slot
you
thing.
didn't have to collect all of them. I was just fucking with
Thank God.
you.
I couldn't remember for a sec.
That's merciful.
Nah, it's pussified, according to the
Oh, yeah.
developer.
Yeah.
You should have been able to pick up every single one of those.
Yeah.
Actually play the game.
I'm a millionaire, baby.
Who wants to be a millionaire? Me. actually.
Conker, honey.
Yeah, I guess they were just...
Oh!
Yeah, so Brandon was asking about the castle, and I had to just stop myself from being like, yeah, there's no castle in this game. What, that place we saw in the background constantly, that you would feel like the game was building up to? You never actually go there. He's just here.
In the money vault?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because while I was watching the commentary by the Conker developers, they actually showed off an area we didn't go to, which is the outside of the castle, which is near where the what am I saying? Trying to say, the pond with the whirlpool.
Yeah.
There's an area there where you can see the outside of the castle with a bunch of signs that say "Keep away, don't go in," kind of hinting at the castle. But yeah, I guess we just don't go there.
Yep.
I didn't even know that area is in the game.
He was real after all.
But they're like bringing all this up, like, oh, there's a fairy tale about the Panther King. Oh wait, hang on. Get it?
No.
Hmm.
No, I didn't like furry. I did ephemeral, like a fable, like a legend, you know.
Like, Conker just suddenly brings this up, like, oh, the Panther King's not supposed to be real. It's like, man, that would have been great if that was ever brought up.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's just kind of out of nowhere.
Some people might think we're taking this game too seriously. It's supposed to be a comedy game. But a comedy must still have a plot, because without a plot, you can't make jokes. Airplane still has a plot, but it's able to make jokes based off of that plot.
Well, Zach, people love Family Guy, and while some episodes of Family Guy definitely have stories, what Family Guy is most famous for is random cutaways to little joke skits. So
Yeah, and those are always the weakest part. But honestly, I think Family Guy does have decent episodes, especially in its early seasons.
Yeah,
But I would say one I liked is And Then There Were Fewer. Their parody on And Then There Were None. It's not like a great parody, it's not really funny, but I think it's well done and has a good twist to it.
okay.
Remember, she's a woman, she must die for her crimes.
Wait,
Yep.
what?
Yep.
Yeah, Barry dies.
Mary just gets fucking shot.
Fairy?
Ha! Comedy. This game is so
That's
funny.
Really, well, how they portrayed that was really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is this, fucking Double Dragon 2? Like, this is the level of like, motivation we're getting to in a game that has full voice acting and writing?
Indigestion. Where's my milk, Professor? Professor.
Oh, Isha. How
Zach, you've been trying not to tell me where this is all gonna go, but I think I already sort of know.
What? It's not like if you know about any specific movie in particular, you could guess where this is all leading. Because this is all very imaginative. And,
Well, we'll see.
I mean, should I even hide it?
No, don't say anything.
Okay.
I at least want to see if I'm right.
I think I already know what you're thinking, but we'll see.
Yeah.
By the way, remember the professor? Yeah, he's here. From like
Yeah.
the beginning of the game, he's back. Like,
Yeah, last time we saw this guy, I think he was throwing chocolate out of windows or something.
yeah, he was building the teddies for a purpose that I don't think is ever explained. People like make up their own headcanon that I think the teddies were supposed to help him overthrow the Panther King, but that is never really brought up. Is never really a thing. Like, you think that would make a lot of sense, but but like they're fighting the squirrels.
Yeah,
Are the
but
squirrels fighting for the Panther King? But Conker said he's a legend. Why would?
I feel like anytime you like theorize about anything in a game, it's usually just like people had to make up
Yeah.
bullshit for them, like for the
There-
lack of writing.
There's theorizing because you're a fan and you're just doing it for fun.
Oh, yeah,
And then
but I
there's
mean, like-
theorizing to cover bad writing.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I was sort of right, but also wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
what were you originally thinking?
I just thought he was gonna kill the king, and then it was just gonna be a fight against the professor. But no, we're doing Alien?
Yeah, when you brought up Alien during the Saving Private Ryan parody, I was just like, oh no, we're not there yet.
But Saving Private Ryan and Matrix are 90s movies. Alien is from 79?
That doesn't matter because it was a popular movie and they're going to parody it. And plus, it's a subversion of expectations, and that's what makes it so good.
Of course.
You see, you thought that we were building up to fighting the Panther King. Okay, we didn't really build anything up. It's just sort of a thing that happens at the beginning of the game, and then almost never brought up again. But, you know, you could say he's the most built-up villain, and instead you fight Alien. Because, you know, this game cannot go on too long without having some kind of movie reference.
I mean, we just finished the last one.
We just finished a couple movie references. And who knows how many movie references I didn't get. You know, because I don't see movies.
Well, because the first half of the game didn't really focus on that stuff as much. It was kind of just doing its own thing, and it's like, in the second half, they just went, fuck it. And so they just, like, threw in all these movies they liked.
Yeah, there's, like, Dracula, Saving Private Ryan, Alien.
Yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula specifically, the 90s one with Gary Oldman.
Okay, what you're going to want to do is find us. Yep, pull that switch.
Okay, so this is what happens in Alien. Oh, sure.
Fuck you,
I'm guessing you haven't seen any of the Alien movies, guys.
No,
okay.
I really
so that.
Oh, what?
Huh?
I did not know that was an insta-kill.
What the fuck do you mean?
But I just got out of the cutscene. Why did that happen?
Oh my god.
Wow, that was literally right after the cutscene ended.
Yeah, so getting blown out of the airlock is an Alien 1 thing. The giant rope, the mech suit thing you saw coming out here, that's from Aliens, the sequel. What the fuck is happening?
Oh my fucking
god. Are you serious?
You see, this is a real...
Oh my god, Brent, you might have to distract the alien a little bit and then go to the lever later.
God.
But shouldn't they reset his position after the cutscene so that doesn't happen? Because that's fucking atrocious.
No, Brent, what you're talking about is pussified game design.
No, yeah. See, like, you're pussifying the game, Brent, when you say that.
We probably shouldn't be ragging on someone for a line they said, like, how long ago was that playthrough? Like 7 years ago.
Yeah, I think
but it's still a stupid thing to say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that commentary was, like, from 2013 or 14.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
he wasn't taking it that seriously.
So it's like...
But still, there are legitimately people who think like that. So if he doesn't think like that, there are definitely people...
Probably someone,
especially from the NES era who are like that. You are going to want to save state here.
Yeah, definitely save state.
Okay.
Trust me, Brandon, save state.
Yeah.
Okay. That's literally the line that she says at the end of Aliens.
Bye, Barry.
Which doesn't matter because she's fucking dead. Wait, really? Really? After all you planned, this is how you're gonna go out, man?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a subversion of expectation. What, did you think Conker was gonna be the one to do it? Conker's too innocent and pure for this game. He wouldn't murder a guy without legs.
No legs and no
You want to pause and save state? Yeah, that way we don't have to see the cutscene every time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. So, how good are you at fighting games?
Oh, no.
Well, actually, this is more like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. He has a tail whip and a headbutt. You guard the headbutt... No, sorry, you guard the bite, and you jump over the tail, and then you gotta do a...
Not too much wind-up to these attacks, I'm noting.
No, there isn't. You have to read. You have to make reads, Brandon.
Gotta get the frame data.
This is where Guilty Gear comes into play.
This is bullshit, and it's not blazing.
Yeah, this is just bullshit.
Yeah, it's just only bullshit.
You can do a combo. You're supposed to combo it.
Yeah.
And then you can. And then you gotta grab the tail and you gotta Bowser him through the airlock.
Okay, how do I grab the tail? Oh! Already got up.
Oh, shit.
it. Of course. Oh, yep, there we go.
This is the last moment of the game, though, so...
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the final boss.
Alright.
It's very anticlimactic, isn't it?
It really is.
Also, those are Killer Instinct sound effects, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I don't know how-
it's
okay.
rare, so...
So, I don't know how you spin it. Is it analog stick or is it mashing A?
I'm spinning the analog stick right
Okay.
now.
I saw like
Alright,
Mars
so-
Do I hit the button to let go?
I think you might have to hit B. Now, what you want to... Okay.
Oh.
What you want to do when
So-
spinning him is making sure there's no sparks on the floor, because then he just won't fly.
Okay.
So you gotta make sure the sparks are gone.
I don't see these sparks you're talking about.
Well, I mean, that's only when you're spinning.
Yeah, like when you're like spinning him around. Yeah.
The sparks are basically it representing that it's holding the floor.
Oh,
Those sparks.
Yeah.
So now so first you gotta make sure it's not holding on the ground, and
There
then
you
you
go.
gotta throw him out the airlock.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out the
Yeah,
angle. The
yeah.
I
angle's
figured
weird.
this would be fucking awkward, because
Yeah.
Ow.
what is it in Conker? Okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened there?
The voice on the robotic voice said, "Close the airlock, idiot." It's like that's kind of funny.
Fuck.
I'll go with that frame data.
Conker's
Yeah.
always had bad. Who would have
Yeah.
thought all of that random bullshit fighting game ranting would lead to this?
Yeah.
Although to be
Fuck.
fair, this is again, like I said, this is more like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, like a shitty
yeah.
version of Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to compare this to the final boss of Sonic Unleashed and thinking which is worse. Oh, man.
I
okay.
couldn't get that.
Sonic Unleashed on the Wii is better than this, because they also have a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out thing in that. Ooh, ooh.
Oh, what kind of fuck?
Motherfucker. Really?
They also have Mike Tyson's Punch-Out thing at the end of Sonic Unleashed Wii, and that is actually a lot better than this. But the final boss at the end of Sonic Unleashed on the 360 and PS3, nah, I kind of don't like that very much. The Supersonic part's okay, but the part where you're fighting the giant creature and you just have to fly into it sucks.
Yeah, I think the best time to strike is after blocking a bite, because it's not very minus after tail attack.
Okay.
It's tail time.
Do you want to play that series next, Zach?
I've thought about it
Go through
actually.
all the Gexes for the memes?
I thought about playing through Gex 2, and like comparing it to Conker,
Oh, yeah.
Got him.
Alright.
because like yeah, I hear
Oh, of
Gex is
course
also
not.
just a lot of
Of
movie
course not.
references, but at least Gex is a fucking platformer.
Oh, right.
Yep. Okay. I blocked when I shouldn't have, because the timing is like within seconds, like 1 second really.
Warning. Warning. Airlock open. Air pressure compromised.
Fuck, come on! It's so hard to judge what angle I'm supposed to be hitting him at.
Oh,
the hell?
I can just bounce them over.
Fuck him,
Fuck
fuck
it.
him,
You
fuck
know
him.
what? Whatever.
Yeah, there you
We'll
go.
take
it.
those.
We take it, yeah. Just fuck this game.
See, like I knew there wasn't much of this game, but I also knew this final boss would be bullshit, so I figured this would take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because not only would Brennan have to time this right, but he has to do it multiple times.
I think he has to do it 3 times.
Well,
Because
yeah, it's Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Well, I mean, the Matrix section we did 5 times, so we mixed it up.
For some
Oh,
reason.
no! Okay, well, good thing I save state. This is how it's gonna be. Just don't even. No, I'm just gonna do that. Fuck this. Oh, you bitch!
Oh, what the fuck?
He's trying to get you with the schmicks,
I guess.
putting
yeah.
you in the blender.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, fuck off!
you motherfucker!
Okay, so
Oh.
I guess I could evade.
I didn't know it could do that.
I
Actually,
didn't know that either, yeah. Of course it
Well,
gets.
good thing I save stated when I only had 2 hits.
Well, I mean, like it's a final boss. It's supposed to test you on your game playing ability.
Yeah.
The problem is there is no one style of game that this game has stuck to for you to practice at for a final boss.
Yeah, this kind of just comes out of nowhere, and you just have
Yeah,
to be
this
like,
is
do
just
it,
entirely
but-
new. And you know, a lot of people say that's what makes this game unique, is that there's so many gameplay styles, and they're...
They're right, but also that's not a good thing.
Well, a lot of people say they're done well, and in
there
a
you go.
sort of way, yes. Like, there's nothing really glitchy in Conker's Bad Fur Day. Like, everything works as intended. It's just
Polished,
unfortunate that it's poorly designed.
Right. It's a polished turd.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Fuck me.
Like, yeah, like this is the first.
Oh!
It has a wake up attack. God damn it.
It looked like he teleported a bit too. Like, what the fuck?
Fucking wake up super, I'm telling you. I
No,
get hit by
yeah,
those all the time.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's lucky.
Okay.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, we fucking,
Fuck 'em.
fucking take those.
We fucking take it. Yeah.
And then the game teleports you backwards to make you hard. Okay. Actually, it sort of did a little bit.
Come on, come on.
Honestly, you could probably don't have to like fully spin it.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have to
full
like.
speed.
You just have like. You can do it a little bit.
How do
slower.
I dodge that? How
I don't
how
think
do I dodge that?
I think you're just supposed to block it. I'm hoping you can just block that. Because it attacks with its head, not its tail.
I'm so I always expect the fucking tail and then he bites.
Oh my god. There you go.
God. Ugh.
Yeah, this time try just like wait for the clock.
Yeah, I tried to do it a little slower to make aiming
There
a
you go,
little.
yeah. But then you like, I guess you would still have to aim it right anyways. Like
Yeah.
What?
All right, I think you want to hold guard because it's probably gonna lunge at you.
yeah.
Well, I only had one bit of health anyway. Fuck this game.
Oh,
Wait, what?
What?
I accidentally hit R1.
I didn't know that would give you a different camera angle. What would even be the benefit of that?
Nothing.
We should really play a good game after this.
Yeah.
We talked about Alec doing Code Veronica, but I think I'm getting annoyed by us being annoyed.
Right. It's like I would want to do Code Veronica, but yeah, we really should just play a better game.
That's a poor time to do.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
please,
Okay.
please, please.
I'm honestly debating about him just like grabbing it and making a safe state here.
You know what? That's a good idea.
I'm gonna go for it.
Okay.
Come on, let go, you bitch. Okay, there we go. Alright. Wait, what?
Yeah, you have to actually do it 6 times.
Wait, what?
It's 2 rolls of 3, Brandon. That's what makes it even funnier. Also, I lied.
What?
Game crashed.
I mean, I've been asking that this whole time.
So my first time seeing this ending, I thought this was the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen. Like, no joke, I laughed throughout this entire cutscene and, like, could not breathe my first time seeing this.
Okay, well,
that-
let's see what it is.
We're engineers that can hear me. Just, type something in. Alright, yeah. Hello. Right. Here's the plan. I won't tell anyone that there's been a lockup, quite a bad one at that, left in the game. If you will say, well, I don't know, help me out with this guy here. What do you think? Now, get rid of this background. It's really grimy. That's better. Weapons, maybe? Oh, cool.
So now we're basically back in the Matrix, because this was the scene in Matrix 1 with all the
It
weapons.
is,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. No. What about... Oh. Oh. Yeah. That should do it. Double action. Oh. You guys. Yeah. Right.
It's official.
Okay.
Conker's a weeb.
To say the throne room.
That's a throne room? I thought it was like a money
No,
vault.
no, this is the throne room.
Oh, yeah.
You see,
okay.
we did actually come to the castle, Brandon.
Just in a
Position.
different way.
Steady. my mark, not a moment sooner. 3, 2, 1, and
Darren's like, what kind of bullshit is that?
whoa. Oh, oh no. Did it fall apart?
You can put the controller down. This is the final cutscene of the game.
Oh, okay.
I suppose that's it.
Well, we'll give our final thoughts after this scene.
Who are these guys? Oh,
Oh.
hello.
This is really it.
Remember me?
Mr. Squirrel, you have defeated the evil panther-type king.
Yes, we didn't like him either. In fact, there seems to be an empty throne.
It's all bloody right, there is. Come on, Conker. Up onto the throne here.
What? But no, you don't understand. I don't really want to be king. Oh no, I forgot that. I should have brought Barry back to life. Oh no. Oh,
I guess he
come
could
on.
have done that.
Ah, thank God. What are you doing? Get up.
It's okay, it'll be good. And the rest of the guys. Marvelous. Yeah, I like it in here. Yeah. Ooh.
Remember him, Brandon? They're bringing all your favorite characters back.
Yeah. But now he's all patched up because somehow they put him back together.
Yeah, that's the scene that made me think, is death even matter in this game? And then there's the thing with Barry, and I'm like, yeah, death matters in this game. So like, I don't know.
King, how did I thought that? Can I be your general?
Oh no. Of all the people in the world that I don't like, I'm in a room full of them.
Really? I mean, the little squirrel guy was your buddy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, remember, that scene ends with Conker calling him an idiot, but there's no real reason for Conker to have thought that. Unless, like, the point of that scene is, like, Rodin is like, oh, I want to be your general because I think war is cool, and Conker's like, oh, that idiot likes war. I think that's what they were going with him, but
I guess.
Rodin, there's no real reason to not like him. Frankie fucking helps you. You go and fuck with Frankie.
Right.
I mean, the paint can and the paintbrush are assholes. The
Yeah.
mouse is an asshole. The cog women, Conker. Can we talk about what you did to the cog women?
Yeah. And just one of them returned. The others didn't want to be here for this.
So apparently the point of this scene is not something I've ever thought of, but I read in a comment, and I think it would be a nice thing to end our discussion on, or at least before final thoughts. The comment brings up something I actually never thought of in the entire time I've known about this game, which is for this entire playthrough we've been calling Conker the asshole, but apparently the original idea is that Conker does collectathon things for a bunch of assholes, and then becomes a king of them and realizes none of them were ever worth helping in the first place, and now he's miserable as the king. He does not get the usual happy ending. He gets this dark, depressing ending where Barry is gone, and he's surrounded by people he doesn't like. I can see where that comment is coming from, but I don't think it's portrayed very well.
Yeah.
These characters needed to be such bigger assholes, and Conker needed to be portrayed more as innocent, because that's apparently the biggest reason he doesn't swear, except for like specific references, is that Conker is supposed to be seen as innocent, and this is the moment where that innocence is supposed to have died and he becomes cynical. But is Conker ever really innocent? Ever? Does it ever really feel like everyone else around Conker is the true asshole? There's definitely a bunch of assholes around Conker, but he feels like another one of those assholes rather than like the odd one out.
Yeah, I mean, he's like just as... I mean, we get through that scene where there's the giant woman in the arena, who doesn't want a relationship with Conker because she knows he'll disappoint her. Like, he's not an innocent.
No.
She knows the kind of person Conker is. And this game is full of him just being weirdly sadistic or just willing to throw anything, or just being really wishy-washy and back and forth on when he cares about something and has emotions towards it and when he just wants it to die. Like, we have 2 dinosaur companions in this game. One, he murders just horribly, and the other, he, like, treats as a friend until he decides just to get rid of it and tell it to go away. So, like, I don't know.
But he doesn't swear, so therefore he's an innocent squirrel.
So, I didn't get to really, I was listening to you, Zach, so I didn't really get to hear what Conker says at the end of that final cutscene, but I assume it's what you said, it's about him sort of losing his innocence after everything he's been through in this bad fur day.
The final line is something along the lines of, you don't really know what you have until it's gone, gone, gone. Which would have actually been a good line if I felt like this game's plot really built up to it.
Yeah.
Because it has to do with Barry specifically?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
But like,
Yeah.
but it never really feels like I like the line itself would have been fine because again, it's supposed to be like Conker goes through this whole adventure, he becomes king, but he doesn't want any of it. He just wants to go back home and live with Barry, but he can't have that anymore. And I'm just like, I mean, yeah, I know the point of the game is just to go home, but I don't really know how to describe it. Conker never really, like, feels like he's ever trying to go home. Like, it's supposed to be the point of the game, but...
At the beginning he is. He's
Yeah.
telling everybody, look, I just want to get back home, and then he just gets wrangled into a series of events where he just kind of accepts it and starts just doing whatever comes to him. And it's like... It's like he just sort of forgets after a while, and he just ends up... I don't even say he's always helping people, because a lot of the times he's not. He just kind of... Like, the baby dinosaur he kills just sort of happens.
Yeah, he's never told to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's never told to do it, and he murders those cavemen guys who didn't tell him to do anything. They are just sort of in his way, and they get eaten. And then he ends up leading them, and it's just... You know, it's that problem, this problem of this whole game where it just feels like none of this story was really ever thought out. And something that they do bring up in the commentary is that there was a lot of this game where they designed things and set pieces later on. They came up with ideas, and then they added foreshadowing to the beginning to make it all set up. And like that's how a lot of foreshadowing works when you write it for stories. But there's something else here.
So, what'll it be?
Scotch. Single malt. Space side. No ice.
A man of taste. There you go.
Whoa there, cowboy. Keep it coming. Oh, leave the pile.
Yeah. Looking a bit down. What's the matter?
You wouldn't believe it. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. I'll just drink this. Don't look too good tonight.
And the original ending was that he goes home and shoots himself.
Oh.
I kind of wish they stuck with that.
But they need to have a setup for a sequel. Or maybe, I don't know.
That is apparently what they did instead, is that Conker goes in a different direction, and then he would have had to, like, try to get back to the castle or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Or, I don't know. I think there was something where the developers talked about a plan they had for a sequel, but I can't remember what it really was off the top of my head. But yeah, Alec, you didn't really get a chance to talk about your thoughts, so what do you think about what I brought up earlier about Conker's relation to the world?
I mean, you kind of pretty much just said what I really thought about, where it's just like, I don't know, because like what pisses me off, because there's that part with the Queen Bee, I think, where she's like crying or something like that, and like needing help with her hive and stuff like that, and then Conker was the one that like instigated or like talked about wanting to have money to do the thing. So it wasn't like he was really forced to do that. He was just kind of like, he only really did it because he wanted the money. So like I feel like there's times like where like it's kind of Conker that starts it.
Well, for that one, it's more the Queen Bee asks Conker for help, and then Conker says he'll only do it for money.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean...
But no, yeah, but the Queen Bee, also her head gets fucking smashed because, you know, she's a woman in this video game, she must die.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the ongoing thing, right? Is that it's always just like, Chris Seaver's intention was that this game was supposed to be about Conker being this lone soul that loses his innocence through the series of people making him do meaningless things. But as Alex said, like in that first scene where he's with the Queen Bee, he is awful to her. He is just like immediately just being like, oh, who the fuck is this? Just like, who's this? Well, I hope she's rich because she's not pretty. Just like the worst, just like I said, black pill shit. Just like being really mean and toxic for no specific reason besides, I guess, because it's funny because he's being a jerk. But it's like, if we're supposed to care about Conker, then we need to sympathize with them, and we can't if his interactions are not sympathetic.
Right. It's like, this is what pisses me off about this game, because it's like, if he's supposed to be innocent and like likable in that way, but it's like, no, he's kind of an asshole at times. Like, I don't know. I just find that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, what are my overall thoughts on this game? I mean, it's really tough because the thing that I did before we recorded this part is that I watched through a good chunk of what is it? Oh, it's like something called Conker's Big Birthday Bash. It's a sequel to Conker's Bad Fur Day that was made in Project Spark, the game creator-esque engine that they made for the Xbox One that ended up going nowhere because nobody really used it and it wasn't very popular. So they made a little Conker game built in this engine to show off what the engine could do, and if it was successful, they're going to release more episodes for it. And it has Chris Seaver returning to voice Conker, however, he does not write it. And I listened to it, and the commentary of it, and what it's trying to do with the comedy, and in some weird way, it made me almost appreciate Conker's Bad Fur Day in the sense that the humor in it was just really boilerplate and sad, and just like, this is a video game, guys. We're in a video game. Remember this scene from a video game? Hey, look, there's a scene where Conker's hiding in a barrel and he has to avoid these guys, and they have little things pop up like Metal Gear, and they're like talking like it's in Metal Gear, and like that's all the joke is just a series of video game references that were so endlessly tired by the time this thing even came out, and it's not funny, and it just made me depressed. And so looking back on Conker's Bad Fur Day, where I wasn't so much, I mean, I was depressed during the gameplay, but during the cutscenes, it was more just, I was interested to see where it was going to go, but it was more just a lot of times disgusted by it. Not because it was all bad, but because some of it was good. Some of it was witty, some of it had good timing, the voice acting is strong throughout the entire game, and the ambition, the technology put behind it is incredible for the N64, and as a swan song for the system, Rare put their all into the presentation of this game, but this game is the ultimate example of just, they tried to do too much. Every single section's a new gimmick, and they all don't feel very good. The story is trying to throw in too much, and it's all just, they came up with whatever they thought of. They say in the commentary that they came up with movie parody ideas, and when they did the first one with the hay that turns out to be a Terminator, they found that fun because they were like, hey, movie references are fun because we can easily turn these into game mechanics, but the problem is that you shove these in here without any cohesion, and it just doesn't, and none of them are funny, like we said earlier, they're just references to the movie that are in the game. besides the occasional bit where the character just says something dumb or goofy, it's like, this game is... The word to sum up Conker's Bad Fur Day is... It's exhausting and it's frustrating. Because it's so... You can see the potential in here and maybe in some way why people love it so much. But it's so hard for me to feel it because so much about what is beloved about this game has aged like, well, milk.
See? Build up and pay off, people. That's how you do it. Yeah, I've been spouting my thoughts here and there, and they've been very scrambled. I'll see if I can give a quick synopsis. Game bad, my childhood is better than yours. No, but I discovered this game when I was 16, and I've been so intrigued by it ever since. And despite my great hatred, I want Conker to have another chance. I legitimately do. Like, you know, Brent, I couldn't really get past much of what is in Birthday Bash in the video I was watching of it, because it felt so much like some guy in a business suit trying to write what he thinks would be in a Conker game.
100%.
And yes, we talked about how this game is not very funny and it just references movies, but those movie references felt like they were made by people who loved those movies and wanted to accurately recreate them in the game. Whereas with Birthday Bash, little I saw of the opening, felt like it was like, well, this is what we have to put in because it's Conker, and it's a comedy. Oh my god, there are like some comedy games where it's just their writing is frustrating because they try way too hard to be funny, and like Conker doesn't feel like that. Like, I don't think this game's funny, but it doesn't fall into a lot of the comedy game tropes. Although to be fair, I don't think those comedy game tropes really show up until after Conker was made anyway.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, there is a passion to Conker that makes me interested in it, despite how much I loathe this game.
No, I find this game fascinating because it was made at the end of an era, and it also tried to be... It threw its original concept out the window and tried to be something that would stand out, not just in marketing, but just because the developers had passion for this specific direction they went in. You hear, like, stories about them working on specific sections of the game, just like how long it took to program and animate and illustrate all of those Saving Private Ryan sections, and just how much love was poured into creating, because like that matrix of all those cutscenes were so well done. It just they're just scenes from the movie. Like, they're not like parodies. Like, usually you can get away with that on copyright law by being a parody, and I guess because they have cute animals in portraying these scenes, it's a parody, but the scenes are just the scenes. That's kind of the problem with it for me. But in terms of the presentation and like the quality, it's all like amazing. And that's what's fascinating about Conkers, because despite really not liking this game, I became obsessed with it for a while because I would look up stuff on it, just trying to understand its development, trying to understand the developers and the direction of why they made this thing the way it is. And it was wonderful listening to their thoughts on why they put certain things in and why they made these decisions, because of course we have to look through this game through the lens of the early 2000s, where, you know, before PC, before things were understood a little differently than they are, you know, nowadays. But that's the problem, right, is that we don't try to look... We can look at things that way, but in all actuality, if we want to see this game as a classic, we have to also look at it in terms of how it's aged. And like I already mentioned at the end of my big rant, it just doesn't age very well. And I'm sure the stuff they add in Riven Reloaded helps make the gameplay better, but the story is set in stone.
And in my quick opinion, this game is a polished turd. Okay, but anyways, what I wanted to say real quick was, I do remember there was a thing around this time where they wanted the games to be more like movie-like. So part of me kind of wonders if that's why they kind of try to do these references and stuff, to be like, oh hey, look at this game, it could be like a movie. It could do these cool like action scenes and stuff like that from like The Matrix and all that. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
like, I feel like a lot of games tend to want to do that, and I feel like maybe that was like part of the reason why they did that.
I mean, this is going to be an interesting, like, try to tie things in, but look at Kingdom Hearts. Look at how Kingdom Hearts not just recreates Disney movies through the worlds that you travel to, but makes them an interconnected part of the universe of Kingdom Hearts. Each planet is its own world that the characters do revisit throughout the series. It's not just, alright, I'm just gonna go to Saving Private Ryan now. It's more like they're traveling to scope out these different worlds. And they connect those references better into the mythology of the series lore.
I can't believe Kingdom Hearts somehow worked its way into this, but
I
you know what,
know.
Brandon, after hearing that, I'm like, oh my god, they should have just, well, they can't take a cue from a game that didn't exist yet, but that, I mean, I think I did bring it up in, like, at part 1 or 2. This game should have felt more cartoonish in that it should have felt episodic.
Yeah.
Like, there should have been, like, a clear beginning, middle, and end. Like, you know, this game didn't really need an overarching plot beyond Panther King wants Conker to be part of his table. And then it's just like, oh, he just sends goons after you. Like, you could have easily recontextualized a lot of this to be like the boiler boss. He could have been someone sent by the Panther King to go get Conker from. You know, you could have him in league with the Bram Stoker Conkula or whatever. I'm just like spitballing ideas, you know. Obviously,
right.
these would have to be all ironed out and
right, and
designed.
I noticed you stumbling for a second, Zach, because a lot of the things that happen to Conker can't really be tied back to the king in some ways, because it's just like, then this happens. It's just like, and now he's in a Coliseum. Like, I guess you could somehow tie that back to the Panther King, but it's also just like, he's just here now.
I mean, you have to rewrite the game in order for things to fit with the Panther King. I was just using what was already in the game as an example. But
because this game is so beloved, that's why I want a sequel. Because I want to know how you would do Conker's Bad Fur Day in the world we live in now. Because I feel like there's a way you could do it and make it work way, way better. By still trying to, you know, not abide by tropes and trying to be something that feels like it's rebelling against the type of game that it is, but it has to be better thought out than this.
If there is one thing I can say, I think there is a better Conker's Bad Fur Day, but it's not a video game. It's an anime from the 2000s, and it's called Ghost Stories.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because Ghost Stories is... I mean, okay, the story of that one's a bit different, although... The story I always heard apparently is not entirely correct, but I'm just going to give the version I heard, and then you can do your own research. Basically, Ghost Stories may or may not have done very well in Japan. Producers of Japan wanted to sell it to America. The dub studio that got it, they were given instructions that, hey, you know what, you can do whatever you want with it, just keep the plot basically the same, and you can't change the names. And then, so, the writer of Ghost Stories, who apparently was infamous for changing shit to be really weird in the dubs, had a fucking field day with Ghost Stories after he was told he could basically do anything he wanted. And so, I felt like what he did with Ghost Stories is something Conker should have done, although it would be harder, because Ghost Stories was already something that existed and was originally meant to be serious, and then was turned into a parody dub. Whereas Conker, you know, is like from the ground up, just its own original thing. But I think the basic concept would have worked for this. Ghost Stories, it's funny, not just because it throws in random un-PC jokes, but it throws in those un-PC jokes with like the setting of it being this anime. Like, you can tell this was not how it was supposed to be. I'm flubbing this all really poorly, I'm very bad, but like it's funny when characters say really weird shit in Ghost Stories, because there is a sort of world, and then when that shit is weird, there's sort of like a disconnect in your brain that's just funny, you know? Like, my favorite line is, there's this girl who's exercising a demon rabbit, and she says, I know now we can no longer be together. It's not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black. That line is funny because there is a story that builds up to that line, you know? There's of how they get along. Oh my gosh, sorry, my brain is on something, but I think you guys...
Yeah, same with me. Yeah, I think I get what you mean. Yeah, my brain's kind of just going all wobbly too, but one thing I wanted to mention super quick too is that this is a good example of a game where a presentation can really fuck with the gameplay. Where, like, if you try to go too hard with presentation, your gameplay's gonna fucking suffer. As we've seen with Conker's Frying Pan, as we've seen with other things too, his animation is just fuck with the gameplay and it makes it frustrating. So, yes, study this game and be like, you know what? I want my game to look good, but you should also make it like playable too. Like, people need to be able to play your game and have fun with it. Even if it may look a little jank, even if it may look a little weird, it's fine. Like, people will accept that, like, who cares, whatever. If it's fun, it's fun.
Right.
I think this game is actually perfect as an autopsy game. I think that's what I find so fascinating about it, is that it's so much fun to just look at it and be like, okay, where did they fuck up horribly wrong? And how can I not fuck up like that in the future?
Right, yeah.
But to basically finish my thoughts, in order for your stuff for your comedy to work, there has to be a world to juxtapose with the comedy. In Conker, there is no world to juxtapose.
Yeah.
I hope I'm using that word correctly.
Because the scenery changes dramatically in this game. Like, it doesn't feel like different worlds. It just feels like this feels disconnected from where we were just a second ago.
I'm pretty sure I've heard somewhere in a YouTube video that if your reader is describing a plot and they're using the words "and then" over and over, it's a very poorly told story. And Conker's plot is full of "and thens." You know, Conker wakes up and then he meets a gargoyle, and then he goes and finds the bee queen and saves her hive, and then
Dumb Beatles.
Yeah.
And then no.
I can't even remember how it all connects because like there is no connection.
Well, no, see guys, he meets the dung beetles, which leads to a singing pile of shit.
And which is the best? Like I criticize this game. I criticize this game. You know, I criticize this game, but The Great Mighty Pooh is good. I will concede on that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Like more of the game needed to be like The Great Mighty Pooh, where like the gameplay of that part looked fine enough, although. The funny thing about Live and Reloaded, you know how in Kong's Bad Fur Day you would have to hit like multiple corns and throw them in?
Yeah.
In Live and Reloaded, you only have to throw in one corn for each section. Instead of doing like one corn and then two corn and then three corn, it's just one corn, one corn, one corn.
Okay, so they did throw out that design philosophy, because that's something that they bring up in the developers' commentary, is that it was like, Chris Seaver was like, oh, I mean, video games, they always have this rule of three things where they make you do something 3 times, so that's part of the arbitrariness of Conker making you constantly do every objective 3 times and it gets a little harder is a parody of that design philosophy. And when I hear him explain it like that, I get it, but the game never parodies it. It's just part of the game design. And so when I'm not able to see the game winking at me by having me do things 3 times, it makes it even worse when doing things 3 times is incredibly monotonous.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to be one of those people, but I'm about to be one of those people. This game does not understand what parody is. Parody is not you take a scene directly or you just do it. Like, just doing it but knowing it's bad is not a parody. Yeah. You know? A parody on, like, doing the rules of 3 would be, like, you have Conker do it 2 times, and then before doing it a 3rd, something happens. Or, like, Conker does it 3 times, and he thinks he's won, and then he has to do it a 4th time, or something, I don't know. Again, these are all just spitballing. You would clearly have to put more time and thought than what I am, but honestly, the fact that I can come up with better ideas in 10 seconds kind of shows.
Yeah, those are the things you want to do, like, a one-off kind of thing. Like, if you kept doing that, well, I mean, I guess you probably, if you kept it different, I guess. But
well, and it shows the developers realize this because of them taking out a lot of the rules of 3 stuff in Live and Reloaded.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much more that we could go on about because, like Zach said, this is a fascinating game to dissect. There are so many elements to it in terms of where it went wrong and what it does right that makes it, to me, one of the most important games ever made, even if I don't like it at all.
I think Alex's description of a polished turd is good, but I think what Brandon said, I hate this game, but it's very important, I also 100% agree with. I'm kind of glad this game exists. It is fascinating to look back on. It is an important mistake, because if we don't make mistakes, then we can't learn.
The fan base of this game fascinates me. a lot.
Yeah.
Because they freaking love this game, and then when I see it here and now, I'm just like, why? I generally just want to know.
I can at least understand why people like Sunshine, even though I don't.
Yeah, like that game I can understand.
Right. I mean, we don't usually get comments on our videos, but hey, if you hear this commentary and you're like, you love Conker's Bad Fur Day, and maybe you've been hating listening to us bash it this whole time, I would love to get a comment from somebody that loves this game explaining why they love it. Because I'd love to know, like, personally, why people care so much about this game. Because, I mean, I've developed a certain care for it, but not necessarily through positive means.
This game is like the drunk uncle that you want to see go through rehab.
Yeah.
I want to see you get better. I can't hang out with you until you do, but I do want to see you improve.
Yes, I want to see this uncle make a Conker 2. Because I want to know what Conker 2 is. Because I feel like, you know, especially Chris Seaver with how old he is now, I'm curious to see what Conker game he would make now. But yeah, because it's owned by Microsoft and Rare is kind of, you know, mostly working on Sea of Thieves now, and Chris Seaver now is independent, I'm not sure what you would even do, because of course Project Spark failed, and then they did that, what is it, Young Conker thing they did for like the Google Glass or something like that.
Oh, I forgot it. Was that the really skinny?
Yeah, the really ugly looking Conker.
Yeah, which Chris Seaver also voiced. Yeah, like they stick Conker in things because people remember Conker, but they never commit to it the same way that this game was clearly made with passion.
I personally would not want to see a sequel. I would rather see, like, just
a better game using the same, like, sort of concept.
I want to see Conker put into an entirely new game, like, just entirely reboot it.
Okay.
Like, don't even, like, how much of it they want to keep from Bad Fur Day, I don't really care. I'd rather just see Conker in, like, a more typical platformer world that does a lot more subversion, or, like, actually goes through with what the original intent of this game was. Like, have that cartoony world, but, like, have every character just be, like, kind of fucked up. Don't go the Borderlands route, please. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, have every character just be, like, some kind of selfish, but not to such an extent that it feels unbelievable that Conker would ever help that person.
Yeah, it has to be
you know, you gotta add
yeah.
some, like, manipulative stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I would actually try to make a sequel. I would go for, like, pushing for making a game that is set after Conker's Bad Fur Day and keeps all of its continuity, but is aware of what this game was and tries to build something new on top of that. Not just a series of fucking references to the game that just go, hey, like, don't make it the Disney live action movies, and don't make it like so many nostalgic reboots that just repeat the same story and plot, but now point out how anti-PC it is. No, keep it what it is, but just do it better. And build on top of what's already there.
Yeah.
Honestly, if any game needed, like, its own Kickstarter clone, it would be Conker.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't need Ukulele, we needed Bonker.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, we don't, because Bonkers already exists, and that is also terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say, oh no.
Yeah, not Bonkers. No, no, I think you have a point there, Zach, that maybe it would be an indie developer that would actually be able to execute on this, because what Conker in the mainstream has become with Microsoft is just a shallow imitation of what this game is. It's corporate.
No AAA game is going to touch Conker.
Yeah.
Or at least not touch Conker in the way... Sorry, I should rephrase that. No AAA studio is going to make Conker how people would want Conker. They're not, like... I don't know if Conker 100% needs the raunchiness, but it does certainly need a little bit of that touch that makes you kind of feel gross inside a little bit.
Yeah, like, it's part of its kind of identity, so if you kind of got rid of that, or even just, like, mellow it down too much, then it's gonna kind of ruin the idea of what Conker was supposed to be, like.
Right. Phew.
I think we spent as long talking about the game as we did playing it tonight, but you know what?
That's fine.
Yeah.
We find this is what, our second finished playthrough?
Yep.
Ever?
Yes.
Yeah, I know we finished RE7 and all that, but...
We finished we finished 2 campaigns of RE6.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
But, yeah, man, I definitely think this is the commentary that I came out of. I mean, I definitely had a lot to say about Resident Evil 6 because I hate that game for completely different reasons. Because that went corporate in a whole different direction. But this is a game that I truly have felt the most passionate about that we've played on this channel. Because Conker's a game that I truly, truly love to hate. And as I've experienced it for the first time, it's been really interesting finally getting to see this game I've only heard about through game trailers, top 10 lists for years and years and years. But I'm really happy I got to finally experience Conker and finally see what this game was and find out that Zach and Alec are totally right and this game sucks shit. And also because it's important. This is an important game to experience whether you do it through a Let's Play or whether you do it through playing it yourself. Because it has a lot to say about the game industry and also the problems with the times it was made in and what games are today, and it's truly something special, and I really am thankful for Zach and Alec giving me the opportunity to go through it for the first time, and also not go through it alone. Because this game would have been a nightmare as a solo LP.
Oh yeah, this is why I felt like we needed to do this as ABZ. Like, I would love to see Brandon do his own solo, but could not do Conker blind solo.
No.
That would be...
God, no.
That'd be torture.
Yep, so what do we got next on the docket, guys? How do you follow up Conker's Bad Fur Day?
No more bad games, please.
or at least not for a while.
Yeah.
Let's do games we actually care about in a positive way.
I will do Code Veronica at some point.
But honestly, if we're gonna have this habit of going through randomly suggesting blind playthroughs, I think it would only be fitting if Alec did a blind playthrough of Psychonauts 1. Psychonauts 1 is a story-focused, funny platformer that actually works.
Yeah. Yes, and Psychonauts is a funny platformer that's actually funny. Like there are aspects of Psychonauts 1 that Tim Schafer has addressed. He doesn't feel have held up as well nowadays, but even with those points, the overall comedy in the first Psychonauts is great. That is a legitimately funny game with great characters, and if Alec would get to experience that after this, I think that would be a gift.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that, yeah.
I'm not 100% saying we're going to do this next.
It's definitely an idea.
It is on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because Alec also must learn to suffer. Actually, no. You were playing RE6.
Yeah,
you play Resident Evil 6. Okay, you know the definition of suffering.
To be fair, I did play it with Brandon, so we got to suffer together, but RE6 is still a terrible game.
It is. I don't...
I want Zach to play Resident Evil Village, but we can get to that when we get to that. So because that's a really good game.
Yes.
But
honestly, maybe I should reward Brandon for beating Conker's Bad Fur Day by finally getting the Village. But I also kind of want to give Alec a shot to play a game.
And also maybe play something non-Resident Evil. Because we've done a lot of that on this channel. Right. So, yeah. We could sell out and do Sonic, because that gets views. I can talk about Sonic.
Brandon can talk about Sonic all day.
All day, every day.
Unfortunately. Oh, man. I don't know. But whatever comes next, we can rest assured that we have this game behind us.
Yes.
And I am so relieved to hear that.
I'm honestly glad we finished it, because we did originally say we would just play it until Brandon couldn't take it anymore. Was there ever a point that you felt like you couldn't take it anymore and you wanted to stop? Or were you like... Or did you have that sort of like gamer rage where like you hated it, but you just had to finish it?
During the Saving Private Ryan section, there was definitely a few moments where I wanted to leave this game and never come back. But it got to a point where when I was finally making progress as I brushed up against a brick wall, is that I realized that if I've made it this far, I've got to see the rest, and it was a bit of spite that I just wanted to beat this game into the ground and get to the end of it just so I could talk about it instead of saying that I gave it up.
Also sucking cost fallacy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we've already played through so much of Conker that if Brandon had given up during war, I would have just taken it.
No, I would have understood, because I remember Brandon being pissed.
No,
I would not blame him.
Oh, its war is terrible.
It's so bad.
Oh man, well we better end this
Right.
Yeah.
at some point because
Hey,
we've done so
we
much.
recorded a podcast-like thing, except we actually recorded it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do a podcast for a while, but we just never get around to it. So I guess this is as close as any. Besides, I guess keeping BZ when we do those videos. but-
We really should do some more keeping busy if we
Yeah.
ever find games that, because keeping busy is kind of hard because it's got to be something we want to show off, but like but we don't want to show off the whole thing, just enough for. I guess Yahtzee's Drown Out sort of style, I guess.
Yeah, we want to play games that we want to show off, but also games we can just chill out to and talk.
Yeah,
Or
games that
play
wouldn't
'em.
make for great full Let's Plays, but
Yeah.
are nice to show off.
So yeah, I don't know what's on the horizon next, but I'm honestly excited after getting through this game that we made it. We know what our limits are in terms of being able to meet our schedules and meet up together to finish games. So I'm excited for wherever this channel goes, but we know for one thing, it will never again be a bad fur day.